Hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss sneaky ways cruise lines make you spend more money. I mean, yeah, okay.
Well, they don't make you, but
They
make it very easy for you to spend more money.
Yes. So cruises are a great vacation value. However, for cruise lines to make a healthy profit, they definitely have ways for cruise passengers to spend more money. In fact, over the last few years, popular cruise lines have found some creative tactics to entice cruises to part with their dollars.
From pre-cruise sales where passengers can purchase add-ons in advance to onboard impulse spending, cruise travelers are spending more these days than in the past.
So we're going to take a look at some of the ways cruise lines get us to part with our hard-earned money. Okay,
and hopefully, some suggestions on how to avoid them.
Yes. So first up is confusing promotions and sales. If you're looking to book a cruise, you know how confusing cruise sales and promotions can be. Many cruise travelers say it's hard to know when they're actually getting a good deal. BOGO. Buy one, get one. Sales, 60% off the second passenger. Kids sail free on certain sailings. 30% off the third and fourth passengers. Buy one, get the second guest half off. You're only taking half the guest? That's weird. But you get the idea.
I think my turn. I think we can all agree that cruise line promos and pricing can literally make your head spin. However, cruise lines are great at marketing, and these promotions work. Oftentimes, these sales do create a sense of urgency, as they're only offered for a limited time.
I mean, we get how many emails?
Oh Lord, daily emails. This sale's ending today, and this sale ending tomorrow,
and then the better one happens the next day. So it's kind of like, what do you do? Yeah. Anyway.
So as far as a suggestion on how to
gauge,
make sure that you're getting a good deal, call me. That's kind of self-serving, but talk to a travel agent. Talk to somebody who's been doing this a while and has seen pretty much every sales promotion that's out there, and can actually walk you through what it's really going to cost, and if that third and fourth passenger free is really worth it or not.
Just remember, you always have to read the small print no matter what. So further out, final payment dates. Cruise lines. Cruise lines will make final payment dates anywhere from 90 to 120 days before the sailing, far enough for cruise passengers to forget the price of their cruising as they get closer to sailing.
If you booked any cruises in the last year or two, you've seen it where you're sailing in September, but final payment is due in June. They do that so that by the time you actually get on board, you feel like they call it a fresh wallet. So by then you've forgotten the pain that it caused when you shelled out the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 that it cost to get on board. This leads cruisers to spend more money on shore excursions, drinking packages, and other extras because you've forgotten, that you already spent X $1,000.
So since the payment for the cruise was made about 3 months in advance, the impulse to spend a little more on ways to upgrade a cruise is common for many cruise passengers.
Yeah.
First one.
Main dining room changes. So many people who've been on cruises have been seeing changes in the main dining room over the last couple of years, particularly since COVID. Changes to the menus, the offering, the dishes, what's included, what's not included. And not to say that the main dining room is no longer a good value. It's just different than it was. It used to be you could, on lobster night, you could order as many lobsters as you want. Now they're limiting it. If you want more than the limit, they charge you. Things like that.
Well, it kind of makes sense. Though, I mean, honestly, you have people that will order 5 or 6 lobster tails and they won't even eat one.
Well,
not me. I don't eat lobster.
So, because of those changes and because cruisers have gotten more,
stringent?
No. The average cruiser now has a desire for better food. Is probably a way to see it. All of the specialty dining restaurants are even more appealing because people don't feel like they're getting the same value in the main dining rooms now. All right, so let's go to Park 52, not Park 52. Well, let's do the specialty dining so we get a 5-star meal instead of the normal main dining room, you know. It definitely entices guests to spend money eating in the specialty restaurants versus enjoying what's offered in the main dining room that's included in the cost.
Next up is extra cost onboard attractions. Nowadays, many mega cruise ships have cool and exciting attractions and activities. Years ago, these may have been included. However, on today's cruise ships, many of these activities will cost extra. Whether it's go-karting on Norwegian Cruise Line, Robotron on MSC, or Bolt roller coaster on Carnival Cruise, passengers will want to budget some extra cash for these additional onboard attractions. So if you're taking your kids or teenagers on a cruise, you'll definitely be enticed to spend money on these onboard activities. Just plan accordingly.
It's very easy to find out how much these extras cost ahead of time, so you know to bring, you know, an extra $100, $200, $300, you know. All-inclusive packages and bundles. So for years, cruise passengers have been practically begging the cruise lines to start offering all-inclusive packages. That, you know, packages that include like a drink package, Wi-Fi, specialty dining. The more that's included, the better. And so several of the cruise lines are finally listening. You've got the Princess Plus or Premium. You got Celebrities all included. Holland Americas have it all. Norwegians, I think it's called Free at Sea. However, those packages they've started to change what's included and what you're allowed to have. So when you're thinking about them, read the fine print, as my wife loves to say, and make sure that the value is still there for you. You know, and I'm not saying they're not. Like for us, we like to drink while we're on the cruise ships, and we need the Wi-Fi when we're on cruises. So the plus, all the other those all-inclusive packages are definitely of value to us. But you got to know your own taste, your own preferences to know whether, I can't say that, the Princess Plus is always a good value, because if you don't drink anything but water and coffee, and you could care less about the Wi-Fi, it's a waste of money. Next up.
Casino rates.
Casino rates.
That's what I said, casino rates.
You said all right, go ahead.
Although casino rates can give you some amazing benefits, including free cruises and great perks, they don't come without a cost. Often cruises sailing on a casino rate are spending thousands of dollars gambling on their cruise. The cruise is very profitable. The casino is very profitable for cruise lines, which is why they get to do so much.
Which is why they do so much to get casino cruisers to come back on board.
Thank you. So unless you really enjoy gambling, which we do, unfortunately, and spending time in the casino, you're probably better off avoiding trying to get a free casino rate cruise. Yes.
Cabin upgrades and bidding. When booking cruise, people will pick the best cabin they can afford at that moment. This could be an inside cabin, a balcony, or a mini suite. However, as the cruise gets closer, many cruise lines now allow cruise passengers to bid for a cabin upgrade. So in bidding for an upgrade, cruisers have the opportunity to get a better cabin potentially for a lower price than they would likely have paid originally. While there are no guarantees, bidding an extra $100 to $1,000 per person or more can snag that cabin upgrade. This does net more profits for the cruise line, as they aren't giving away free stateroom upgrades. This can actually be a way for some people to save money on a cruise, but you have to know the value. You have to know, if the minimum upgrade bid is $100 per person per day, well, now you just, if you get it, you just added $1,400 to the cost. Was the upgrade worth it? If it is to you, then great. You might save some money and you're happy.
And if you're willing to play the game, do it. Next up is spa upsells. If you've ever gone to the spa on a cruise ship, you'll probably experience this. Once you're done with your massage or your treatment, you'll be likely presented with an expensive product that you might want to buy. Many people have a hard time saying no and end up with the lotions and gels they may never use again. Great Christmas presents. In fact, many cruise passengers say spa upsells are one of the things they don't like when they are on a cruise. And if this bothers you, let the spa personnel know that you're not interested in purchasing products before your massage begins.
Onboard sales. The duty-free shops and sidewalk-style sales are more ways for cruise passengers to be parted from their money. Whether it's an FE sale or a sale for cruise line merchandise, onboard sales get cruise passengers excited about those deals. If you ever pass by an FE store during a raffle or a sale, you've seen how busy it can get. And trust us, it gets busy. These onboard sales are an excellent way for cruise lines to get passengers to spend money. They're not necessarily a bad value, but you got to know what you're buying to know whether it's a good value. They always have onboard alcohol sales, and if you don't know your alcohol pricing, you might not be getting a great deal. Sometimes you do. Sometimes there are some sales that, we've come home with several bottles several times, but like the last cruise on the Wonder of the Seas, we didn't buy anything because
we know our prices.
Yeah, we know our pricing, and it was like the one, I think it was Absolute Vodka. It was roughly, if you bought 3 bottles, you got one free, I want to say, and even after including the free one, it was roughly $3 a bottle less than we would have paid back home. Didn't feel like lugging around 4 bottles of Absolute to save $12.
Not worth it. Next up is onboard credits. Onboard credits are a great booking incentive. Who doesn't love getting onboard credit from the cruise line to spend on board? However, many guests will use it and then will spend more time, even more once on board after it's like fun money. But is it really? For example, cruise passengers receive a $50 of onboard credit that can be used for shore excursions. However, most of the time, excursions cost more than the $50 and cruise passengers must pay the difference. In other cases, a $50 to $100 onboard credit can go towards a spa treatment or even an item in the duty-free shops. Many cruise passengers are happy to add an extra money to cover the difference.
Here's another wonderful one. Dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is a I don't want to say new, but a fairly recent arrival, pricing model for certain cruise lines, most notably Royal. Royal Caribbean cruise passengers know that the price of almost any package can be different from one cruise to the next. It allows the cruise line to adjust the pricing for beverage packages, shore excursions, Coco K, based on the supply and demand. Excuse me. The best way for Royal cruisers to save money is to book those extras early, as most packages can be canceled and refared if the price lowers later on.
Cruise pricing strategy. Cruise lines have been pricing cruise vacations as per day per person for many years. The lower daily rate makes the cruise seem more affordable. This is especially noticeable when you're in the midst of the booking process and a little box pops up to let you know that you can upgrade your cabin for only $32 per person per day, as an example. So on a 7-day cruise for 2, that adds up to $448. Of course, the price per day sounds much more appealing.
YOLO. Even if we set a budget before our cruise, many of us struggle to stick to it once we get on board. When you're on a cruise vacation, it's really easy to spend money on excursions, especially restaurants and other extras. This, you only live once feeling is something many cruisers, including us, have experienced, because you're on vacation, you want to enjoy it, and okay, who cares if that pineapple pina colada is an extra $20 on top of the cost of your drink package? Why not? As long as you can pay for your vacation, don't beat yourself up too much for spending a little extra.
So now that you know about some of the sneaky strategies cruise lines use to separate you from your money, check out this video we did recently on how to save money on your cruise.